The weekend is here, and wow, what a weekend! We look forward to both here on the Highveld and on the coast. That is Western Cape, where we'll be having our second meeting since they have relocated to Kenilworth in preparation for their season. That is slowly kicking into gear, but of course, wow season is in full swing, and we look forward to the announcement of that final field in the not too distant future for the Summer Cup that comes about at the end of November, 29th of November to be precise. Don't forget, lots of sports, and maybe the weather is inclement. Just get that blue voucher and make sure that you top up. It is a universal voucher, so whatever your account, but of course, we are talking about Betway. It will be very, very much come in handy. Right, let's talk about what's happening today. It is, of course, starting at our usual starting spot for a weekend. It is Gqeberha, where we're on the polytrack of Fairview. 12:35 is the off time. We've got an odds-on favourite in the first, and that is Iconic Winter. 13-20 on debut in those famous Captain Silks, which tells you it is a former poor match in charge. Goes to Gqeberha with a very, very good form. Second favourite is number 4, Ocean Flame. That's at 11-2. And then the last horse in single digits is number 6, 5-Star Magic. That is at 9-1. So I've done at my part. Now let's get Nino to do the most important part and to guide us through the first leg of that bipod. Nino, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Cecil, and nice to see you, and you're looking very well.
Thank you. You sounded very good.
I've elected to bank number 1 in the first leg of the bipod. It was 13-10, so I see now there has been quite a lot of money. And remember that the same combination on Wednesday brought a horse called the Honor Impulse down to PE and 1, trained by Smith and owned by the same people. So it's Paul Machador's. The run behind Alala and United Offer, I think, are too strong for this field. I think she's a horse to beat. I do have respect for Ocean Flame. So those that want to add that in, they could do so. But I've elected to bank Iconic Winter. I think she'll take all the beating, and whatever beats him, whatever beats her will win the race.
Thank you so much. Any word about the first time a kitten tattoo, Mr. Podesta?
No.
Okay.
I have not heard anything about that, Cecil.
Thank you so much, Nino. Right, so he's got 4 bankers, and so it should be quite an inexpensive outlay of 15 Rand. You could take it a few times and start the weekend on a winning footing. 1 by 2, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 by 1 by 2, 5, 7 by 4. 12:35 is the off time to that first leg of the bipod. Yes, indeed, the blue voucher is very much alive, and of course, hopefully you have topped up for this afternoon's meeting in that Gqeberha, where race number 2 will see the start of the place accumulator. Now, as far as race 2 is concerned, it is a strong hand for Alan Krief. He's got the 2 that come back to the poly, looking to retain unbeaten records. The once highly regarded Splice, the main brain, hasn't been in the winner's box for quite a while, 250 odd days to be precise, but this was a superstar in the province, and that winning turn can't be too far off. But making a winning turn for the first time on the poly is your favourite, the 2, Enchanting Choice, and this could be a very good weekend for those silks. Of course, we're talking PJ Moore silks, which will be seen to good effect in the Western Cape in one of the graded features. Enchanting Choice is odds on, and that is at 20-21. Splice, the main brain, very easy to back, and that is at 9-1. But of course, second favorite is Unconquerable Lady from an all-conquering stable from Wednesday. That is Dean Smith. He had 3 winners on Wednesday. Unconquerable Lady has a bit of a task, but it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world. Right, Nino, banker, I saw we bank at Enchanting Choice in that second leg of the bipod. I take it that's the same with the PA.
Yes, Cecil, definitely a banker in the PA, and hopefully she maintains her unbeaten record in PE. She's since she's come from Cape Town, she's unbeaten in PE, and the last run was over course and distance, and she was very impressive. Splice, a main brace, is also she's a 9-time winner, and she's also unbeaten over the course. But I think she might just need the run today. I'll make the nearest danger to Enchanting Choice, number 4, Montelina. On the previous meetings, she's a good couple of kilos better off with the Enchanting Choice, but I just feel that Enchanting Choice is getting better and better, and I believe she will confirm the form with Montelina. So yes, a very strong selection in Chanting Choice, Cecil, and banker in the bipod and the pier.
Yes, indeed, but not too much value as far as on the nose bet. Maybe take it with your all to comes. But there's that banker, and there are a few more bankers that we'll encounter in legs 3, 4, and 5, being numbers 1 by 5 by 4, respectively. It is off time 13:10 to that first leg of the PA race. Steel conditions plate over the 1400. On to that pick six we go. It's back to Maiden Company. A maiden plate over the 1600 meters. One of several more maidens to come through on the card this afternoon. We will be touching on those with Mr. Podesta. But in a race number 3, it is a local debutant in the form of Aid Red Lassa, who is quite short in the betting. 3-2 Muzieni gets a ride. He once rode it whilst it was in its former place of residence, which is KZN, under the tutelage of Kumaran Naidu, who actually trained it in PE for a while when he had a satellite yard, and then he took it when he relocated to the KZN province. After that, as far as betting is concerned, there's a bit of value if you think you can beat Red Lassa on local table. Grey Warrior, for instance, is at 33-10, and then we've got Cliffy Claven, who is at 5-1, 13-2, and a better bar. Those odds are courtesy of Betway for weighted to win. Right, tell us more about Red Lassa, Mr. Podesta. Obviously, you're not as bullish as that short pricing of Red Lassa.
No, Cecil, I think she's far too short in the betting for me. And she was in PE before. And as you can see earlier on, the last time she did run on the poly, she ran a shocker, 11 lengths behind the Danish Dynamite. I wouldn't be taking that short price about her. She's obviously got a chance. Looking at the field, you can see that Grey Warrior has got the beating of Bomber Bay behind Clouds Clearing. Grey Warrior came from an 11 draw that day, and today he's drawn 3. So I can't see Bomber Bay running in front of Grey Warrior. The value in the bet could be number 1 at 7-1, Prolific Star, and Cliffy Claven. I give them all chances, and just to make sure we stay in, I've added the 2 as well. So I've taken all of 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8 in all my bets.
Okay, so that is the opening leg of the pick 6. And again, it's quite an inexpensive outlay of 495 Rand. Don't forget you can take it on your phone or whatever gadget you use. And that's after recharging with your blue voucher. Right, that is race number 3. First leg of the pick 6 off at 13:45 in Gqeberha. 2 jackpots as per normal on a local program, and it is the first jackpot starting with an open maiden this time, and that is race number 4, and we step up in trip to 2,000 meters. Usual victims, usual suspects, I should say, meet up, but it is another local debutant who could have a final say in matters, and that is the one at Terminal Velocity. Now at the all-conquering Alan Cruyff stable, and that is pretty short. Was actually shorter than what is showing this morning, so jump on, lump on. 10-11 yesterday is now easier to back at evens, is number 1 at Terminal Velocity, formerly with Mr. Gareth Finsale in KZN. Golden Croc 5-2, Global Scene at 13-2. That is numbers 5 and 2 respectively. And just looking at the rest, they're all in double digits. Free to Run is the shortest price at 13-1. Right, Mr. Podesta, do we have another banker as far as Terminal Velocity? Has tried the poly a couple of times in its former habitat and placed third on one of those 2 occasions. Richard Fourie gets a ride for Alan, and this is a Global View who seem to do well on the poly track.
Yes, Cecil, you're 100% correct. This is a very weak open maiden, and if Terminal Velocity doesn't win today in this field, I think she's going to then be struggling in PE. The run behind Another Dream is a run that stands out to me. We know that Another Dream has come out to win, I think, 3 in a row after that. And also the run behind Rejuvenate that was supposed to run in Joburg yesterday. I would have been very eager to see how that went, but the meeting was cancelled. Yes, I think Terminal Velocity is another banker. I think she's going to take all the beating here. The only nearest danger to me is number 5, Golden Croc, but I don't quite think she can beat Terminal Velocity.
All right, just concluding your trifectas and the quartets. Nina, what do you throw in for trifectas and quartets? The likes of Welsh Starlet, or would you prefer Global Scene?
In the quartet, I would bank a 1 for first, I would bank a 5 for second, and I would go field for third.
That's the way to go. That's your trifecta and field for fourth as well. But in the jackpot, a confident banker selection, 30 Rand once again is the outlay. There is a banker in the third leg. Jackpot 1 gets underway at 14.20. All right, race number 5. You can bet on us. Conditions are played. We're now out of the maidens and it's staying over the 2,000 meters. And here, as far as the betting is concerned, honorable member, that is a 7 in the stake. Hoven Silks is your favorite, and that is now at 5-2. Epicleros is the second favorite. That's number 2 at 5-2. So co-favorites, in fact, my apologies there. 2 and 7 co-favorites, 5-2. The 5-1 Religion, that is at 33-10, has made the transition to the Eastern Cape quite smoothly. And as far as the poly is concerned, is that the 4 runs on the poly for 2 seconds, a third and a fourth. That winning turn can't be too far off Rigid Free in the colors of Mr. Peter Moore. Right, as far as Mr. Podesta is concerned, tell us more about this conditions plate. Epicleros takes a drop in class. Last time met a field far stronger than this in that feature. That was on the turf. One Religion met the boys last time and just touched off by George Handel. And then honorable member, well, what can we say? Has certainly been a model of consistency since leaving the stable of Mr. Bronkhorst here on the Highveld.
Cecil, those are the 3 horses that I like. I think those 3 will get us through all our exotics. I wouldn't like to split them. There is a very strong tailwind blowing, and I don't see where the pace is going to be coming from there. I don't see any front runners. Maybe Preserve Forever. I could probably see her making the pace up front, and that will suit One Religion. Epicleros, the penultimate run was very impressive when she beat Family Power, who's going to win a lot of races in PE. That's definitely a runner. And then you've got an honorable member with a low weight. So if you had to push me for a selection, I would tip Epicleros to win from One Religion and then honorable member. But I think those 3 horses will suffice for all exotic.
So in other words, the fancied runners should fight out the finish with the 2 Epicleros getting the slight nod there from Mr. Podesta. 257 are the numbers in that first leg of the jackpot. That is the last jackpot getting underway at 14.55 with the running of a conditions plate. That is race number 5 at Fairview. Now, as far as the Pick 3 players are concerned, your last opportunity to get involved in the local Pick 3 will come about with race number 6. And of course, don't forget that reminder once again. It is the blue voucher that is accessible to you to top up your account as far as Betway is concerned. And as far as Betway betting is concerned for race 6, Winter Emerald in the colors of the Burners family is at 10-3. 5-1 is Dinelli. And then as far as the rest of the field is concerned, 7-1 about local debutant in the colors of Mr. Willem Ackerman. Number 10, Silvano's Song is at 7-1, 15-2, and better bar those. Now, as far as number 10 is concerned, Nino, obviously the form alone would tell you that is better over a bit further, but a very nice sort of once going over further will certainly be somebody or a name that you will certainly look forward to seeing more and more. But for now, we're looking at Winter Emerald as the one to beat as far as race 6 is concerned. Merit rated 80. It's over the 1600.
Cecil, yes, getting back to Silvano's Song, besides he's having his first run and it's also been rested for a very long time. So, but it definitely a horse you're going to have to put in your black book there because I think it's going to be very competitive in PE. So we're going to have to keep our eye out on him. I'm taking a very big gamble here. I like the look of number 4, Winter Emeralds. Unbeaten on the poly. I disregard that last run on the turf. I believe he's much better on the poly. In actual fact, he's unbeaten on the poly, and I'm hoping that my friend Mr. Robert Bloomberg can have another winner. Remember, he won with the US of A last week, and hopefully he's got some doubles going into Winter Emerald. So I'm taking a big chance here, Cecil. I'm banking and I'm making this one of the better bets on the card. The Dangers, Diner Alley, Kingdom of Heaven, One Scotch. There's a lot. So Dowser could upset even. So I'm banking with Emeralds. For those that don't want to bank it, I think they're going to have to really load up this leg of the Pick Six.
Thank you so much, Nino. Just to confirm that we have a scratching. One of only two scratchings at the moment in PE, and that is number 12, Run of the World. So that is a Winter Emeralds of lots of confidence there from Nino that it will be 3 from 3 on the poly after this afternoon's merited 80 over the 1600 meters. Just for the record, that blue voucher, any local supermarket, and I'm sure other outlets, convenience outlets rather, will have a supply of that blue voucher for your consumption. Right, let's get to the last leg of, or the first leg of the last double on the card. That is the penultimate race, number 7, last leg of the first jackpot. This is the Fillies and Mare 68, and we drop in trip to 1300 meters for race number 7. And in race 7, the favorite is a Cheerio Baby, and this is going to be a second run in at the province. The first run was on the poly against the Boys Are Not Disgraced when beaten by less than that length. That is by King Raoul, and that was on the 17th of October. Richard Fourie and Alan Greef in the colours of the Moorisfontein. The second favorite is Marshmallow, and that is the one at 6-1. And then after that, 7-1 is available about the 4. Spoil Yourself, Alado's Habit. That is the 3, is a 10-1 along with Genevieve. That is a recent maiden winner, and Isa Cap is a 10-1 as well, or Genevieve. That is race number 7. Now let's get the thoughts of Nino. Very trappy contest. If you don't like Cheerio Baby, I think you could be in a bit of trouble here.
Yes, you will be. But I do like 2 horses here, and they are the stable companions. I like Marshmallow from a 1 draw, but you've got to respect the stable jockey that gets onto Alada's Habit at 10-1. That's my value bet on the card. Obviously, it's Cheerio Baby. She could be the one to beat. I don't know how strong the form lines are. I do know that Can You Do the Hula did come out to win, so there has been a winner from that form line. To me, she's a bit skinny in the market, Cecil. I'm looking to beat her with number 3, Alada's Habit, and the stable companion also from a 1 draw, Marshmallow. I make that a big runner, and Cheerio Baby. Those are the 3 horses that I'm hoping will see me through my exotics.
1, 2, 3, as confirmed on that swinger box suggested by Mr. Podesta for race number 7. We're off at 4:05, and of course at this stage we would have got in to our meeting coming through from Hollywood Bets at Greyville, where of course we see a couple of racing royals, or several racing royals on the show. We'll talk about that a bit more later on. But that is race 7 in Quebec. That's the second last of the afternoon. Okay, so we round off our look at Fairview meeting. That is our meeting starting at 12:35. It is on the poly track. Please note once again, we had that 6 millimeters of rain over the last 24 hours. There is going to be a tailwind. We are on the poly track, and for race number 8, it is yet another favorite for Alan Greef and Richard Fourie. This time it is the newly turned 3-year-old, and that's the 5, the Roaring Rock, who bids for a second win from 8 outings, and that is at 9-2. Again, that tells you the story of race number 8. The local debutante, formerly with Wendy Whitehead, if memory serves right, that is indeed right, now with lady trainer Kelly Mitchley, and that is a T-Rex at 5-1. 7's about the 4, Revilius rather, and then of course Hospice de Boon is at 8-1. That is the 2. Right, Mr. Podesta, race number 8, we do have 1 scratching, and that is a 6 of Prince of Florian. That leaves us a field of 13, one of our bigger fields on the card this afternoon on a tricky card. The 8th race, the merit rate is 68, 1,200 meters a trip. Obviously, the draw may be a factor, but I think there could be a lot of value in this race. 9-2 is your favorite. I think there could be bigger prices that could give your favorite a run.
Yes, I also believe so, Cecil, and I think this is the toughest race on the card. But in saying that, I do quite like a horse quite strongly, and I think it's a horse to beat, and that's number 4, Revilius. Now, the jockey Suda has got a very good record on this horse. And last time out, if you have a look at the race, it was hanging and it was very, very unlucky not to beat Buffalo Bill. That was over the 1,000 and it was flying at the finish. Had that been over 12, I had no doubt that Revilius would have beaten Buffalo Bill. He's 3.5 kilos better off with the Hospice the Bow, number 2. So I can't see that reversing the form. So he's got that well beat. And the Roaring Rock, that form has also been franked. He beat All Systems Go, that won next time out, and then ran second to Golden Palm about a week or so ago. So that form has been franked. But I like Revilius at 7-1. I think that's value, and that would be my first choice in the race. But look, if Revilius doesn't win or the Roaring Rock doesn't win, I think there's many with chances, and I would suggest loading up. But like I said, Revilius is, for me, the horse to beat at 7-1.
Thank you very much. 7-1 about the 4 Revilius. That is Jacques Stratham and apprentice B. Sudu, who comes in with his 4 kg claim. Nino, it's been a wonderful pleasure and good to see that you came back in one piece from Quebec, where you teamed up with the Weighted to Win team, and I believe it was a beautiful day all round and, of course, emotional day. But we move on. A seamless transition. Dean has already made his presence felt with 3 on Wednesday. Let's hope it continues on a Friday. Although it looks to be the stable of Alan Krief with jockey Richard Fourie to dominate.